So good evening. This is a meeting of the committee chairs, Greenfield City Hall, meeting room, second floor. It's Tuesday, June 6th, 2023. It is 6:03 p.m. Thank you. This meeting is being recorded by committee chairs. If any other persons present are doing the same, you must notify the chairperson at this time. The purpose of this meeting is to prepare agendas for subcommittees for council consideration. No discussion or comments will be entertained unless requested upon by the committee chairs. Need a roll call vote.
Councillor Gwynn
Is not present.
Councillor Forgy.
Yes, here.
Councillor Emma.
Here.
Councillor Bullock.
Notified us she would probably not be attending.
Councillor DeSorger.
I'm here.
Okay, we have a quorum. Thank you. Just barely.
Yeah, but still.
All right, let's do it. We've got some notes here, president's notes. First is to reschedule committee chairs meeting for July. Currently, it's scheduled for the 4th. Does anybody have a problem with scheduling it for the 5th, next evening, which would be a Wednesday?
That's okay with me.
Is that okay with everybody? Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll schedule the next chairs meeting for July 5. Okay,
6 p.m.
6 p.m.
Great.
Same place.
Yep.
Okay. Create new ordinance to ban powered leaf blowers in Greenfield submitted by Garth Cheneyfeld with support from a signed petition. I think this would belong in A&O. However, it does need a counselor to submit it and bring it forward. So we would need somebody to do that. And is that correct?
It is correct.
Is correct. Okay, so we need somebody to do that. I don't want to speak for Mary Ann, so let's move on.
I'll just add, Garth was heard swearing at a leaf blower from his bicycle going down.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, seeing that we don't have a counselor who sponsored it and Mary Ann isn't here this evening, I won't make that commitment on her part. So we'll just take that in our next July meeting. Proposed ordinance banning the sale of nip bottles of alcohol in Greenfield submitted by Mary Ann Bullock. That should go to A&O. Proposed ordinance to address dog bites and dangerous dog in Greenfield submitted by Councilor Mary Ann Bullock. That should also go to A&O. Resolution to instruct our government officials to vote in favor of the proposed 28th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution submitted by Greg Snedeker on behalf of the students of Stony Burnham School. Those were the young women that appeared before us at our budget hearing.
And the guy.
Yeah, and so I don't know where this particular piece should go. Does anybody have any ideas?
It should be supported by a counselor.
Okay.
Like other proposed items.
Okay, all
If
right.
that counselor chooses.
Okay, so what we'll do, I think at this point, if we have the time to do it, we will ask at our meeting under new business if there's anybody that wants to support these and bring them forward to the floor.
So we will list it under new business.
Under new business, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very hard to
Okay.
pass a U.S. event.
Okay. Discussion topics submitted by Councilor DeSorger. Request replacement for the TIF committee in June. I'm assuming.
Somebody from Ways and Means.
Pardon me?
I can't be there. I said I couldn't be there.
No.
I'm there already,
Okay.
and
Is
it's
this-
to replace you. Is that right, John?
Okay, that's all. I wanted
Economic
to know.
Development, and I'm Ways and Means. I thought we might want someone from Ways and Means there.
Okay, so how about at our next Ways and Means, you can ask if there's someone who's interested in serving on the TIF.
No, I meant for our June meeting,
Which is coming up on the
26th,
26th.
Oh, the TIF meeting is on the 26th?
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
They're discussing the,
Yeah, I know.
yeah. I just really felt as if a Ways and Means member might want to be there.
All right, can we make that ask at Ways and Means?
Perfect.
All right, excellent.
Thank you.
That'll be great. Truncated agendas for July and August.
What does that mean?
It means keep the schedule short for the summer months.
Doesn't that sound like a nice thing?
It does sound like a nice
July
thing.
and August council or July and August ways and means?
No, I'm thinking council.
Council.
Do we ever just not skip them, skip a month?
Well, it all depends on what business we have, but usually.
Usually there's business.
Yeah, there's always business. One, could be shorter or longer, but let's just take that under advisement.
Yes.
Okay. The audit discussion with Powers and Sullivan, that's Ways and Means.
Right, so maybe we should invite them to like September. Do you think in a couple months? I mean, we have to give them notice.
Yes, we do. We do. So let's put out an invitation when what feels comfortable, because it'll go first to Ways and Means, right?
Right.
Or do you want it to go right out to full council?
I think we had them come to Ways and Means. As I recall, they came to Ways and Means before. So not July. I don't think it should be July. I was,
July and August, people are
that's
gone.
it was in line with truncated agendas. How about for September?
Yep, okay.
Okay.
Let's put that on the
Okay.
September agenda.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, no problem. Posting older years of meetings and agendas online and a searchable keyboard.
Keyword.
Uh,
I must say, I couldn't find the addresses, the email addresses of counselors on the city website.
I
It's on the
think,
city council page.
Yeah, it wasn't there.
I think.
Click, you have to click on the actual.
clickable link.
Counselor?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this was my suggestion. I know I always have lots of suggestions and ideas. However, having only, and I imagine this would greatly affect the clerk's office, putting them on. But I'm not the only person that's looking things up. 2 years worth, I don't actually think is enough. And I have no idea what work goes into it. So I think that if I'm trying to look things up about something, there must be other people too. And other municipalities do have more years on. So I'm putting that out there and certainly willing to listen to all sides of that issue. But,
So when we got, if I may,
yeah.
you found it?
Yeah.
Okay. When we got the new website, so we used to have, I don't even know how many years out there.
I
At
remember.
least 6.
Yeah.
But when we went to the new website, there was a recommendation to keep 2 or 3 years out there and then cycle them out so that we weren't loading the website with a lot of documents, to try to keep it trimmer, more organized, more succinct, that sort of thing. I understand why, because the old website had a ton of things out there, not necessarily talking about minutes, but had a ton of things out there that really weren't ever utilized. So if I were to say, so we have 23 going out there, 22 out there. So what if we went back, I don't even know, to 2020? Is that enough? How much were you thinking? I think it's okay to have a conversation about it and then compromise somewhere in the middle.
Okay, so how does this sound? If if sometime within the next month, you, Dan, or I, and Ginny can sit down, and we'll discuss what we think is appropriate option for getting these records, giving them more accessibility.
Okay.
So let's aim for, if we possibly can, maybe sometime in July after the 4th, to have a discussion I'm gonna put after 4.
Okay, so there is a week that I'm gone,
Okay,
but Quinn can easily be part of the discussion.
perfect.
You know, I don't have to be there.
Okay, this will be a meeting with Disorder and Pres,
Okay,
Vice Pres if necessary, and Clerk.
okay.
Okay, does that sound?
And if if you have a number that you're thinking, then I
Okay.
think that's a good place to start the conversation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next is the use of hybrid and availability of recordings for all meetings. I'm assuming that this means that there are some meetings that are taking place right now doing town business that do not have the capacity for a Zoom hookup at this point. So it's either you go in person or you can't go to the meeting at all.
Right, and you can't watch it, you don't know what happened.
Can't watch it and everything.
And actually, I brought this up because the lady at our meeting, Ellie Mandel, I think was her name, she brought it up. And I thought, I know that, I thought if we missed some things, like planning board, for example, they have a voice recording, so you wouldn't, you don't know what happened in a meeting from the minutes, in my opinion.
Right, right.
So they're not being recorded, and I thought we have access, so, but I would think that if that was going to be, it might need to be I don't know about that. There were people that said it is an accessibility issue now that we can do it for some.
Yes.
I thought of it as an accessibility issue. People wanted to participate. She brought it up as a health issue, remember? And so I was bringing it forward.
Planning board, I don't know why they don't have them here.
Well, I'm thinking that this is the mayor's jurisdiction with planning board, a conservation committee. Those are her boards, her appointments. So maybe conversation with the mayor to get the planning board to come in and meet in this space or in John's on, something
Or in
like
the
that.
library.
Or in the library, which is going to come online soon, to have them change their venue from where they meet to someplace where they have a Zoom capacity.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something we can't tell a board to do this or that. The council can't tell a
We
board.
could recommend.
We can make a recommendation to the mayor, and I would be very happy to send a memo to the mayor in Dan's absence and just basically say that this isn't something we hear from people, and we think that it's an access issue and needs to be addressed. And
Okay,
does that sound
thank you. That'd be great.
okay? I would be very happy to do that.
With the library, we'll have, I think, at least 2 venues
Right.
that are Zoom ready.
Okay, that sounds wonderful, actually. So I'll do this. I'll throw together a memo to mayor.
Yeah, I think this is a woman who's allergic to everything,
Right.
all this building material, so she can't come to John's on. She might not be able to come to the library either.
Okay, but
It's a
She
husband
does
and wife.
come to some meetings.
But are you okay?
You okay?
yeah, I just poked myself with a pencil. I didn't do that.
But if they are, it's viewable also after something happens and you wanted to see what happened and it's not recorded. It's just a good, I think, once we have the capacity to do one, but I don't know. I guess that you're right about who's would be in charge of that, I guess.
Yeah,
Every meeting votes for self, but like disability access hours are recorded.
well, that would be the letter that I would send to the mayor,
Yeah,
is to
okay,
ask the boards that are not doing a hybrid model to do so because it's an accessibility issue. And I think that would be fine. I think, some boards are ahead of the curve at this point. But I agree with you, if we're hybrid, we should be hybrid all the way with everything we do.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Okay. great.
okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Follow up on cybersecurity is mentioned in the audit.
Oh, which one? Operating budget.
Oh, yeah. To June. Ways and means?
Discussion, yes.
Yeah.
Yep, very good.
That would also be a charter change, just to put it out there because it's listed in the charter when capital improvements and the operating budget, how it will happen.
Right.
So I'm just,
Does that mean moving heaven and earth?
I don't know, but let's explore it.
it's a charter change.
We talked
You
about
don't
it.
have to wait 10 years to make a charter change.
No, no.
The charter is a
It might take the state 10 years to get the charges back
That's
to
right.
us.
It's a living document. You can make charter changes anytime. I just wanted to mention that it would be a charter change. That's all.
Thank you.
Not a
Thank
big
you. Thank you.
Just, so Ways and Means has got that. Then the follow-up on cyber security is mentioned in the audit. I think that should go into September with the audit.
I think it should, and I think when we have that discussion, it may need to be in executive session.
Okay?
Depends on what the executive session reason would be.
Right.
For security.
Got it.
But there are specific reasons.
I know.
You can go, yes, yeah,
It's, it's one of the,
it's one of them.
I definitely think it's one of them. It's to protect, the one about protecting. You do that when you're talking about security. There's one of the nine,
Yeah,
there's
it's
nine.
not privileged information. It's
It's something that would,
proprietary information.
yes,
Thank you.
but yes, that's all I'm going to say on that.
Okay, so, okay, good. Opioid Task Force meeting. I've seen a lot going back and forth in email. Do we have an update or a status on that?
It's a private meeting. I got to know.
Excuse me?
But the meeting on that is the private meeting.
And the opioid task force?
I dropped in on it once. Nobody asked me for my credentials,
Okay.
but it's not advertised. Is it?
Well,
The meeting this is opioid, oh, wait a minute, go ahead. No.
do we have people, do we have, I'm sorry, my ignorance showing. Do we have people that have been assigned to the opiate task force?
The one I went to was being run by the sheriff and the health department. And then there was a whole crowd of, I don't know who they were, but there were a lot of medical people and experts and treatment and so forth. It seemed like a very rich group of people in terms of knowledge. But I don't know what the basis of their existence was.
I
Okay.
misspoke. I'd like to correct what I said. There's an opioid task force that is not, that's not private. I've been to a meeting of that opioid task force. It was an enormous meeting at GCC. We have the opioid, they're deciding what to do with the opioid settlement money, which is why I put it under.
Oh, it's a settlement.
Yes, and that meeting where they're deciding on that is a private meeting. So not opioid task force. I actually miswrote that. That was
So
not
it's
actually
not
what
a
I meant.
municipal board, so it doesn't need to follow open meeting law.
So in essence, then the distribution of the monies falls to the mayor.
I believe
It's the
so.
mayor's
Yeah.
decision.
I believe so.
Okay,
They haven't gotten the guidelines from the state actually on it yet.
okay.
There are no guidelines that I know of yet. But it's referenced here in our, we got this in our agenda. Apology, the meeting you have referenced is not an open meeting. It will be the first meeting with providers to seek information on how we all get this, it's in the agenda, I think. It'll be the first meeting with providers to seek information on how they view the opioid settlement money being spent and how it would best be used to assist with providing their services. For Councilor Bullock's suggestion, there will be a more public discussion of the disbursement of the funding at a later date. Councilor Bullock has asked to attend in her professional capacity, and I have said yes to that request.
Okay, so we have a representative from council at that meeting.
Not as a counselor, as
That
a,
is not
Council,
As a professional.
as a professional.
this was something that was sent to all the counselors? That you-
Yeah, it was. I got it.
I have email
This
overload.
was money that we'll be getting annually. The settlement keeps going. It's, yeah.
Well, do we need, I guess my question is, If the legislative language says that it's clearly the mayor's responsibility to go ahead and disperse the funding, and she's putting together a committee to help her make decisions with dispersing the funding, does that satisfy?
I haven't seen all the I have not read all of the information that's come from the state on this. Have you seen it?
No, I have not.
Oh, so I think it's just a concern and I don't have the information, so I
Okay.
wouldn't be able to know that.
Okay, is there a meeting, is the mayor put a date to this meeting? Does anybody know that?
Not that I'm aware of, but I haven't been here for a week.
Yeah,
I haven't heard anything.
Yeah,
okay.
so we can always,
Find out if there's a date for this, certain for the meeting.
we can ask if there's a meeting date.
Okay,
And we can ask if there's instruction, I don't know what to say, instructions, an outline, recommendations on how,
I guess we're looking for language.
Right, we are.
yeah,
Look for-
yeah.
The settlement happened and then the state was going to give guidelines, but they have not, they have not done that yet. And when we had discussions with as I recall, Director Schindler said, you know, they were expecting guidelines by July 1.
Okay,
And now I guess there's a meeting scheduled. I haven't seen anything about it myself.
so maybe it's not,
But I think that whatever is coming from the state must be open.
okay, so let's hold that in abeyance until we
Okay.
find out what the date is, the date certain of that, and when the guideline language comes out from the state. Okay, rescind order number fiscal year 22-003, accept gift of property located at 0 Bungalow Avenue. EDC,
Sure.
okay? Oh, yes, go ahead.
So going back to the 0 Bungalow Ave.
Yes,
When the council accepted it, it was never properly done at the Registry of Deeds.
correct.
So the deed has not been corrected. A neighbor of the former owner of 0 Bungalow Ave is using the property as a driveway. So the intention is to rescind the order so that the property reverts back to the former owner, so that owner can give it to the neighbor
Okay.
to put it back on the tax rolls.
Did the former, because we accepted,
We accepted it.
but the town
But
never
the
knew for.
Paperwork has
taking.
not been done yet. Right.
And so did they get a tax bill on this? Do you know?
They did, and I think the assessor's office is aware of that. Last thing I knew, the assessor thought that that bit of money for that piece of
Right.
property would be able to be abated, but I'm not
Okay,
100% in on that.
okay.
They're building there?
There's nothing. No, it's just being used as a driveway. It's, if I remember correctly, formerly a paper street.
That's correct. Yep. Is that okay, Phil? I don't know as if you'd have to spend a lot of time on
So I don't even know if it needs to go to EDC. It could go straight to the floor of the
That
council.
would be fine with me.
Okay.
I don't act-
Okay, let's do it. Okay, straight to the floor. Okay. Okay, amend rules of procedure, Rule 2, meeting section A, regular meeting submitted by Counselor Roskinsky. I'm going to just take that under advisement. Accept Mass Department of Public Health Excellent Grant, that can go straight out to council floor. Termination of the tax increment financing TIF agreement between the city of Greenfield and Ford Toyota.
EDC.
Got it. We have a first reading. Council, right up to council floor.
Yes.
Jenny, you don't want that in Ways and Means, right? No, just to
I
council.
knew they'd go to the council.
Yeah,
They're all,
yeah, and council for the second one as well. The year-end transfers, anything with monies going out to Ways and Means.
Yep, we're in the time of the year that it doesn't have to have first reading, second reading, public hearing. It just goes straight through.
Okay. So all of those, okay, then library appointments, that goes to, there's appointments, so goes to,
Would these be done all at once? Because I have to recuse myself of one of them.
we can have it, yes, we can have it go all, we can have it so that that you can recuse yourself. Okay, I'm just gonna write that.
So you want them all on one order?
Well, I can recuse myself from the whole thing to make it easier for everybody else.
That's fine.
You'll have the votes.
Just to note, the Community Preservation Committee, Garth Cheney felt, there's a incorrect information here. It will not be a city council appointee. He will be a mayoral appointee. That was just incorrectly referenced. And the Historical Commission, John Pasiglia, is not being reappointed because his term doesn't end until 24, I want to say.
Okay,
So those will be cleaned up for the council.
okay.
Do you want them to go to A&O?
Oh, I wish you were here, Marianne. There's a lot of them.
You probably should. They sometimes have strong feelings.
Thank you. I think it's good for them to go to A&O at this point. There might be a couple of things on here.
Okay.
So, okay. Except rooftop solar array at DPW building. Can I just go right about to council?
I would think so, yes.
Yes, okay. All right, so economic development.
We have, we're deliberating French King.
Yeah, it isn't on here, but it is on here. It will be first. It will be rezoning of French King before the request for the petition.
Okay, so French King is right on.
We had discussed sending the liquor license straight to council because the Board of License Commissioners had blessed it. They're sort of the ruling authority. But I'll let my guys talk about it.
Okay,
Feelings, yeah.
yeah,
So we'll invite the applicants also.
Okay, that would be fun.
by Zoom, if they could.
Well, it will be the wife of the owner.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, okay.
Why the wife?
I believe
The owner
the
is.
owner is
We have it.
busy.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. No.
Let's see. The tax, the TIF one, okay, you've got that.
Yeah.
Appointments and ordinances. I'm just gonna leave everything where it is. Mary Ann can bring forward whatever she wants.
Thank you.
Community relations, I am going to say that I would like to cancel this meeting, this one. Since that's my committee and I'm operating as president of the council until the 21st. So I'd like to just cancel that. There's nothing on the agenda except the precinct meetings. And again, we're getting into the summer months. So I'm thinking
Having a hard time getting people.
we would have a hard time getting people in. So let's just cancel that for now. Ways and means, okay, this is very important, the approval of the memorandum of understanding. That okay with you, Ginny? straightforward, or you rather just have it go out?
No, we can take that.
Okay.
Okay.
And then the acceptance of the public health excellent grant for shared services, that I think should just go out,
Right out to the.
cancel for, right? Okay. And the rooftop, okay, we got that one. And, yep,
Just a minute ago, when we were under president's notes, the rooftop array, you said send straight to council. Do we want to leave it on Ways and Means, or do we want to remove it from Ways and Means?
See why this is good.
let's take it to council.
Okay.
Take it to council.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of, now you've got the year-end transfers. All of those are coming up. Those are yours. And then, discussion items, consider home rule petition for compensating and reimbursing to schools and monies regarding special education care of foster children. Education and foster children, care of foster children. I pushed that back out. I think you're gonna need, I pushed that out to September. Approve the payment, that's yours. Approve the preservation budget, that's yours. Clerk's report, draft from the table to declare 29 Washington Street to be surplus property and transfer property to mayor for sale. Yep, okay.
Yeah, the EDC sent that through, then Lampiansky raised an objection. It turned out
Right.
she didn't have any special,
Okay,
Special right, yeah.
yeah,
yeah, okay, so
like anybody else.
that's going to be on the agenda. And then to sell the city-owned property at 29 Washington Street to authorize the mayor. That'll be on the agenda. Accept gift of property at Bungalow Ave. Rescind the order, right? That'll be on the agenda. The TIF, yep, that'll be on there. Proposed zoning, that's French King, yep.
Yep.
Request for City of Greenfield to petition all alcohol license, okay, that's good. And then things like the Greenfield Charter, all right. I don't know, and I guess a conversation with Mary Ann is needed for this, but I don't know if they're, as far as I understand, I don't think we have had an opportunity to meet with Public Safety Commission and tell them or explain to them what the rationale was and what the plan is going forward. So I think that we should not have that addressed on our council
Fine.
meeting.
Remove it.
This one, yeah, move it. Keep it in the loop, I think, it's important. Resolution to instruct our government officials, I would just
Yeah, that's,
move that, yeah. Put that on mayor's appointments, that'll go on. The memorandum of understanding, yeah, Mass Department, the grant award, yeah, solar array.
Could I stop us? for a
Sure.
minute? I'm looking at the housing authority. We did for a 3-year term, should have been 5
yes.
years.
Housing authorities, 5.
Yeah.
It's in the Mass General Law.
Yeah. They fall, and they're really not, it's kind of, I don't know how to describe it, it's kind of subsidiary. It's like they write they pay their own people, they write their own thing, checks, they do, they're self-contained. The mayor is the one who's the appointing authority, but everything else is under state law for them.
So when was he appointed for 3? He was appointed for 3 and it should have been 5?
That's what it looks like, and I can't tell you when he was appointed. I just don't have that information off the top of my head.
I know that John's been on there for a very long period of time.
Yeah.
I do as well. I just was, okay.
Okay. So I guess the question is, should he have been appointed for 5 years, but he was only appointed for 3?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So we are appointing him for 3 years. Because,
I believe he was appointed for 3, so you're tacking 2 more years on it,
okay,
but don't hold that as gospel because I want to look, see if I can find the appointment memo.
okay, that's no problem.
Okay.
That'll be clarified.
That's what I believe, but I'm not 100% on that.
Okay. The MOU, that's the Mass Department of Public Health Excellence Grant for Shared Services. Rooftop solar array at the DPW building located at 189 Wells Street. Transfer 100,000 from workers' comp to general fund accounts for fire department. Transfer 70 grand from HMO health insurance account to general fund account for the town city attorney. Transfer 86,500 from HMO health insurance account to general fund accounts for telephone central services. MP 2022 debt, short-term interest and Medicare city match. So that 86.5 is going to do all of those. Okay. Transfer 44,000 from debt service principal pay down account to debt service short-term interest account. Okay. First readings. And we're done.
So just to let you know, John Raffin's term would expire, we're tacking 2 more years onto it. The term will expire in 2025.
Okay, so this is adding 2 years. Okay, anything else? Anybody?
I hope they get some lifeguards.
Yeah. I know, it's a crazy world, crazy world. Well,
So we have to look at that, this is not on the agenda, but I hope that A&O, I'm just saying this under new, will be looking at the home equity ruling. Not this time, but next time. Should I say that
Yes.
out loud for now?
we say it now and we'll put it on the chair, have it on chair's agenda.
The home equity theft.
Okay.
It's something, we'll have to be doing something with that ruling. I don't know. what that will be.
My understanding is that a certain amount of money has been collected
That's
by
right.
the city,
Yes,
and I don't know where it went.
It goes into,
They sent it,
it goes into bottom line revenue,
general fund.
general
Yes.
fund, yeah.
yes.
And yeah, does it get spent? Yeah,
It's spent.
Yeah.
it is spent already.
So can it be clawed back?
Well, the conversation is kind of like we have a federal decision,
Right.
But-
It was about a different state.
but
Right,
this,
so we-
right, so we have to at some point,
Massachusetts.
Yes.
has to,
It's a state.
and the state has to issue whatever they are, whatever protocols and everything else that they have to issue some guidelines. I don't think that individual towns can act on their own. That's just my personal opinion. But if it's a federal mandate, comes down through the
Yeah.
state,
It just isn't yet.
It's not here
Massachusetts
yet.
Didn't file a case. The Supreme Court hasn't ruled on Massachusetts law, and that would have to happen first unless Massachusetts voluntarily
Right.
changes its.
And I think we might be needing legal opinions on that. I
I
just,
think that's very appropriate.
yes.
So,
It would probably be a mistake to take any more
Oh, yes, and that,
properties.
well, if I was the city, I would be very careful about my takings
well,
right now.
I just wanted to bring it up because I think this is an important issue to make sure that we, going forward, but we don't get ourselves into anything where we are even considering taking something else where we've had a federal ruling. So we should have like a policy on that or a statement on that. And then, we have to be thinking around the curve on that. I do think it's about 400,000.
Yeah, and my assessment that that's a hard amount of money to claw back. So, I mean, but I'm not the legal counsel, I'm not the state or anything like
An
that. but
individual could sue to get it back.
Absolutely, whatever they decided to do, I mean, everybody can go can litigate, but I don't know whether or not and how quickly the state will act on this. So, anyway.
People care, yeah. I mean, there are people who care about this deeply.
I know it's an issue that's being discussed out in the community right now, so, yeah,
That's why I just wanted to bring it up.
yeah.
So that but I do think that going forward, we just should be saying that out loud.
That's fine. We also have a couple of other issues that we should probably get on future chair agendas to assign to different committees, and one of those would be, we're still in limbo about the chiefs, taking them out of civil service.
Right, if that's going to be on the, exactly.
That's another issue that, again, does it have to go to the ballot? Does it have to, and I guess, I don't know which committee would be taking this. I don't know.
But when is the deadline for getting things on the ballot, Kathy?
So it would go on the November ballot. The deadline through Mass General Law is 35 days prior to the election. However, we would probably ask for a little bit more notice because of printing the ballots and that sort of thing.
Sure.
But Mass General Law says 35 days. So that's probably the September council meeting. It would need to be finalized, passed through all of its stages. But the last thing I had heard, and I think I said this last month or the month before.
You might have.
So I was incorrect in saying that it had to go on the ballot.
Okay,
That was when we were a town. We are no longer a town. We are a city. So it is in the mayor's basket right now, whether to request the removal of chiefs or not. That's a nutshell of it.
Whether to request.
Whether to request, from my understanding, is whether to request the removal of the chiefs, fire and police from civil service. I'm stopping short of saying request it from the council because I don't know, and I can't remember if the council has anything to do with it or not, or if it's under the full umbrella of the mayor.
But initially, we said it became this way because it went on the ballot.
That's when we were a town.
Okay,
Yes.
so, and I thought I heard that things, right, we were a town then, but things went on, that this thing needed to be undone in the way that it was done.
When you are a town.
Okay,
Now that we are a city, because the last time any of this was dealt with was when we were a town, not under this charter. And it was done prior to July 1st, 2003, when we became a city, and it was on the ballot. Is there something?
we had Chief Strahan had his hand up.
I'm sorry.
Chief Strahan had his hand up briefly, I saw, but go ahead.
Put it down
So
again.
prior to July 1st, 2003, the police chief was put back into civil service
it's true.
by a ballot question by vote of the town. That's when we were a town. Now that we are a city, I had initially said it needed to go by ballot question because they have to come out like they went in, but that would have been if we were a town still. We are not a town. We've been a city since 2003, regardless of what we were called.
So do you know what the procedure is now that we're a city?
Not off the top of my head. I'd have to read the information that came through from Gordon Quinn? No, Gordon
Deputy Chief?
Sullivan Hayes. No, he's attorney. Attorney Gordon Quinn?
Yeah.
I think
No,
so.
It's Gordon. It's Gordon.
I think,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
I think maybe we should be getting our own legal opinion on that. Don't you?
Well, yes and no. Okay. And
Let's see what he says.
yeah, I definitely have faith in Sullivan Hayes and Quinn, only because they were labor attorneys for years. Dick Hayes was a labor attorney who did all the negotiation. And Gordon Quinn is part of that firm and was in that picture then. But let's do this. Let's find out. I guess we need more information before we move forward. We need to find out exactly what the procedure is in order to get the chiefs out of civil service at this point. And then we need to figure out next steps. So maybe if we have some information, we can put taking the chiefs out of civil service on our chair's agenda. July. Wow, look at how fast that agenda is filling up at this point.
And I do think I can forward some information to you. Don't believe it's confidential, because if it is, I've now just talked about it. Chief has his hand up.
Chief has his hand up.
It's up to you if you want to
No,
recognize.
finish your
So
thought.
I don't know if the information I have is confidential. If it is, I'm kind of messed up because I just talked about it. So, so yeah, let me look and see what I have, because I asked a couple of questions back and forth to Attorney Quinn, and that may
Okay.
Yep.
explain some things or put minds at rest or what have you.
Thank you.
But
So can we let Chief Strand? Can
sure,
we
he has
recognize?
to unmute himself. There he is. He's unmuted.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Chief, how are you?
I'm okay. Sorry about that. I just wanted to clarify one thing. When you talk about removing the chiefs out of civil service, you're talking about the position, not this current sitting chief.
Correct.
Correct.
That's
Correct. It
correct.
is a position.
It
Just
is.
so the public knows that, just
Yes.
because whatever decision's made to remove the position, it doesn't remove the chiefs out of civil service. The current
That mean, right, so current chiefs are grandfathered. And then for the next round of chiefs, which, you know, we wish you a long tenure, will be affected by the new rule.
Yeah, that's very nice, and I plan on being here a few years.
Okay, Chief, thank you.
Raise or lower his hand. Yeah, he did.
Okay, good. Anything else?
Well, you said a couple of things. You had that
Oh,
one.
but I did. That was the one thing, but then the other piece I think has already been taken care of. So I think we're okay. I
Okay.
think we're okay. I think we've addressed it. Because the other piece was, when is the charter change coming through from Boston? So we could change the charter to add another assessor,
Right.
elected assessor, and that hasn't come through yet.
We
and
haven't
probably
heard
won't.
any update, and I've got emails in to both of our representatives and their assistants that when the discussion is occurring, before the discussion occurs, you know, we want to know, hear when they're doing things.
Right.
Right.
And you print your ballots when? About.
So I can't really answer that as soon as I can is the answer, but I don't have a date. Again, if we're looking to have a ballot question on there and you're thinking that that there's going to be a ballot question That has to be 35 days minimum. But we print our ballots as soon as we can so that we can get ballots mailed and that
Right.
sort of thing. And so I don't have a date.
Okay.
That I can give you that we're gonna print the ballots.
So, would we need legal counsel to write up that ballot question, or would the state, when it approves the charter, would write the question for us, the charter changes for us?
The ballot question for,
The assessor's position, an elected assessor.
good question.
Okay, we'll find that out.
Yes,
Okay,
yeah.
excellent. Okay, are we good to go? Anybody? Okay, so,
You want a motion to adjourn?
yes, please.
Do we adjourn?
And I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and we are officially over at 6:53. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you all very much.